Safety on an Australian mine site. The whole workplace is a hazard. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today we are continuing our series going through how safety works on a hard rock underground mine site in Australia. So we're not talking about coal in Queensland, we're talking about all the hard rock mines in the country. And you can apply the rules to the surface hard rock jobs as much as you can to the underground jobs. So in today's video, we are going to talk about how the whole workplace, the mine site, is considered a hazardous zone. So the actual mine site, so in the underground, as soon as you get to work and change into your clothes up at the shift boss's office where everything is, there'll be a tag board. And once you are ready to go underground or go into the mine site area, the pit area, there'll be a tag board that you have to tag onto that says that you're going into the mining zone. And then from there might be a series of other tag boards that you've got to tag onto to designate that you've moved into a different zone, normally into the underground area. And sometimes even mine sites go deep enough. I've been in very deep underground mines like Taufa that were actually using 2 tag boards underground. So you tagged on the surface to say that you're going into the pit, and then you tagged on again to say that you're going underground, and then when you went all the way down to the new development down the bottom in the bottom decline, you had to tag on to that tag board as well to show them that you were down the bottom there. And the whole reason that you're doing this is because you've got to let people know where you are on a mine site, because the whole mine site is considered hazardous. And that's one of the things that people don't get through their heads when they start these jobs. They sort of jump into it and think it's going to be like a normal workplace. Because it's a hazardous workplace and it's considered a hazardous workplace, you won't be able to go anywhere on site by yourself until you're deemed competent. And that becomes a huge issue with all the entry-level jobs. So if you type underground into Seek, you'll see all these entry-level jobs come up, and the truck and the nipper and the offsider and the Agi driver, they're all entry-level. Everybody wants experience because they don't want to muck around having to train people, because it costs a lot of time and money. Because the issue that all the employers have got isn't teaching you how to drive the underground truck. That's really simple. We cover how the truck works in our online course, so you can go through and learn everything that you need to know, and it also shows you everything that the buddy should be showing you down the hole. And that's the important thing, because the way that the system works and safety works, you won't be able to go anywhere on the mine site by yourself without your buddy until you're deemed competent. And so the longer you need the buddy, the more they ramp up the pressure and the more people they go through, unfortunately. So the way we help people get in, and the advantage that we give people by doing getting them to do the training, so you can do the DIY training that's got full instructions on how to redo your resume. There's a 3-step plan package that comes with the full resume service, or you can get the full work ready, and that's where you get one of the shift bosses like myself, and we get your resume redone in-house and help you with the mining information and all that sort of wonderful stuff, and make a plan of where and how you're going to get into the industry. But there's lots of jobs all over the country, and the way we help people get in is by educating you, because if you can show them that you know how it all works using the training, puts you 6 to 8 weeks ahead of everybody else that they're going for a job. And just knowing how the system works with safety and the tag boards, the whole reason that tag boards were invented was because they wanted to account for people. And unfortunately in Western Australia there was an incident many years ago where some geologists were blown up, unfortunately, because years ago it was only crib time that they would fire at, but crib time wasn't a designated time. Crib time's lunchtime, if you're wondering. And so what happened was an airleg miner was working 2 stopes in one of these mines in the goldfields here, and he set the firing on one, came down one, went back up the other, set the firing on the other, came down that one, and in the same time the geos went up the other one to go and inspect the stope, and they undid his firing. It really, not smart going up when there's charged explosives up there and all that sort of stuff, but it did what it did. And anyway, he just thought that he was dumb and didn't hook it in, so he hooked it all in and let it go. He went for crib and came back, and there were arms and legs poking out of the rubble at him when he got up to his stope. And so after that there was a big inquiry, and that's when they brought in tag boards for firing times. And tag boards for firing times have extended into it being a hazardous workplace. And And so now you normally have a number of tag boards that you've got to proceed through to identify that you're in each section of the mine, and you have to have permission to go through those sections. And the big thing is, and I cut back to it, is that you won't be able to go anywhere by yourself until you've been completely passed out and that you've been deemed competent, because the whole of the mine site, as soon as you tag on that tag board up on the shift boss's office, when you set foot out there to start, it's all classed as a hazardous workplace. So just be aware of that. And it's really different than a normal workplace in Australia, because in a hazardous workplace, you can't just step out and let people be by themselves. So if you started a factory job, you do your first day induction, you get all inducted up, you come in for your second day, I take you down on the floor, I get you started on a simple job. I can wander away from you in a normal factory if I'm happy that you're doing the job, and I'm not going to get in trouble. If somebody wanders away from you and you've only been underground for a day, it's your first day underground, and you hurt yourself somehow, whoever's your buddy is going to be in serious trouble, and the shift boss that assigned the buddy is going to be in serious trouble. Everybody's going to be in serious trouble. So that's the difference. You have to be up to speed before you can be let to go by yourself. And that's the big thing that people don't understand. And it's not just about being able to drive the truck. A lot of people think that if I can drive the truck up and down the decline, that's the problem solved. It's not. You have to display to them, not only can you drive the truck up and down the decline safely, you can interact with everybody else in the mine, and you can be left there independently, not to hurt yourself and not to hurt anybody else. And that's why the whole mine is considered as a hazardous workplace. It's why we use tag boards. It's just one of those things. But again, it's all information that you should have a good idea of before you go. If you're trying to learn this on the job as you're going, this is why there's so much failure, and why, again, we suggest you have a look at spending the $500 and doing the DIY, just to make sure that mining's going to be for you, because we get a lot of people come through that do the training that decide that, holy shit, once I've done the training and I've learned out, the pressure of the job and what's really involved and all that sort of stuff, we get a lot of people that don't want to do it anymore. So my advice is to, before you start, changing your life and turning your life upside down, make sure that it's something that you actually want to do. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you could share this information around. If you've got any more questions on safety, please let me know, and if you could like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.